here we are with the first international episode of this summer split. We have, like, for the first time, someone not Italian, and we have Guubi from Samsung Morningstars. And first question will be the hardest one. So are you, like, at the moment, are you in Denmark or in Bergamo?
I'm in Denmark.
Okay, so do you think you are physically closer to me at the moment or to Evan? Evan is living in southern Italy, and at the moment I'm in vacation in Finland.
Okay. Then I think I'm closest to you, but I'm actually not sure.
Let's check on maps. This can be, like, also due to, like, they say Nordic internet very good and etc. But, like, I'm actually without cam because it makes me lag. So sorry for everyone who's watching the episode. Let's check on maps who is actually closer. Like, which city are you in? Or region of Denmark?
I'm in Odense. I can type it if you want. Close to.
Odense, okay. So because it's not obvious for like most people living in Italy, I'm actually closer to Bergamo when I live in Warsaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Warsaw is closer
so,
to Bergamo
like,
than where I am at, so it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
I'm like
Exactly. It is deceptively long.
1.3 k kilometers away from Bergamo. I'm like super far away from Bergamo. It takes like 11 hours of car to get there, basically.
Holy. But I was closest to you or to Evan then?
I'm pretty sure to him.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Let me check now. So from Odense, like, it's hard to measure in, like, airline. I think it's like you're closer to me, but not by that much.
Yeah.
Odense.
It looks like that.
Yeah, Odense is pretty much middle of Denmark. I'm just like a little above Helsinki, and he's like to the south of Italy. It's almost the same distance. I think it's like 200 kilometers closer than Evan.
No,
So
actually, like by car, I'm watching now. By car, is like there is 1,000 kilometers difference. So like you are 1,400 kilometers away from him, and I'm 2,400 kilometers away from him. Basically,
Okay.
like the same distance from you two is the one I have from my place to Bergamo.
Yeah.
It's almost that.
That's crazy.
You're crossing Sweden and then go to Finland, and you're closer to him than like me staying in Italy going to Milan or Bergamo.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
But I'm
weird.
also closer to Bergamo than you, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Let me check. I think it's kind of similar. Like a little bit closer, but not that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bergamo, by the way, we're using as a reference point because it's where the Morningstars gaming house is, right? And you were also, when you were in Sparks in gaming house, it was like around there, right?
Yeah, it was just south of Milan.
Mm-hmm.
It was like around Pavia or something like that, I think.
Okay.
SPK, yeah. It's Berguardo, the place.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like your third split in Italy at this point, because you played like winter, let's call it winter split with MOBA, and then you had spring with Sparks, and now summer with Morningstars. So like this is pretty much your first year as a pro player. So how does it like feel to compete for, like, start competing and keeping up for this long? Like, you're building up your career and doing so in a, like, let's call it minor region as Italy.
Yeah, I mean, first split, it was like my rookie year, so it felt really great to win in the winter split with Stenbosse Click on MOBA. It was a really nice confidence boost as well, knowing some of the players that we competed against and won against, so it was really nice. And then I had to go to SPK, which was due to some unfortunate circumstances. I had like a really good offer from a Nordic team with a really stacked lineup. So I would say like my career kind of started in January. Even though I didn't join the team, I felt like I had really like good opportunities. But then unfortunate things happened, and I had to come to SPK last second, which I was also grateful for that I could. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well as I had hoped, and then now I'm on SMS, and it feels really nice because I know every player is very hungry to compete, and it's a very good team, so I think we can do really good things.
Plus you have 2 former teammates of yours.
Yeah, I have 2 former teammates, so I'm in my comfort zone right now.
Yeah, the former MOBA bot lane is once again together.
Yeah, the dream team.
Yeah. And I remember that you played with Click in MOBA, but you actually pointed out that also Stenbosse was playing with you. So it's basically a long time coming, building this the backbone of this lineup in Morning Stars. So at one point, I suppose you like, what crossed your mind when there was this chance to reunite this trio and say, okay, we did well last winter, let's try again? Or maybe was it Christo that saw how well you played and said, okay, we're picking these 3 guys up because they have potential together?
Already from December we talked about like keep going me, Stenbosse and Click on SMS. But then obviously this Nordic lineup that I had in mind was happening, so I had to say no to that plan. But then after SPK we were in talks as players and with Christo, and we were just talking about making it happen now instead of the split before. So that's basically how we came up with staying together.
Plus, I guess like the fact that Stenbosse became an LTR player was like easier for you to have you in the lineup instead of like an Italian ADC or something.
Yeah, it basically just gave us room to like have me and a mid laner who was really talented and good.
Yeah.
So made it a lot easier for me at least, because Naira is my friend from Danish teams, and I know how good he is and how much potential he has. So when I could just say that I want him with me, and they would agree that he's probably one of the best fits, then it just made a lot of sense to join.
At the beginning of the split, when the team got announced, there was this like basically nobody in Italy knew like neither, and basically all the info that there's like on Leaguepedia was in some. I think he played one split in what was like Nordic League, I think, but not much else. So yeah, everyone was like, yeah, who is this import? And now like we know that the choice was also based on like your input and your connection, that you knew him as a player and played with him in the past. So that explains a lot also.
I mean, there were basically like
okay, sorry.
a lot of synergies already from week 1, because I knew Naira from previous teams, and I knew Stenbosse and Click from previous teams, so it was just Mkers that I didn't know, and it was really easy to just work with him from the start as well. So we got a really good start, I think, to the split.
Yeah, actually on that point, like I thought you would have like performed not poorly but like worse at the beginning and then rise up during the split. Instead it was like good from
Yeah,
the
quite
get-go, then like a bit of
Yeah.
I don't know what was, because like Stenbosse said on Twitter that it was like some unexpected problems that came out in those weeks, and then like you had to fix it before the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I think like we came in with the mindset that we are probably one of the top teams, right? Like top 2 at least. So we already from the get-go started practicing a lot of different stuff, which is why I think we stormed some of the teams in 18 minutes, and then we got stormed by Mkers with the Twitch bot lane. So I think we practiced way too many things, and when we started losing to Cyberground outplayed in the 2 weeks, then we had a talk that okay, we need to start practicing same stuff and just focusing on what we are really good at right now, so we can win the playoffs, and then we can take it from there how we want to approach EU Masters. So that's basically how we fixed our big problem, was just having like a big team talk, and I think we are on a really good track right now.
Yeah, maybe like the spicy stuff is gonna come later on, right?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
And in like talking about spicy stuff, we also have seen in the last series that you played against Raccoon that you had a lot of priority for the Karthus pick, which is like for the viewers, it's kind of new to see him in the bot lane. We have seen him like in the jungle, especially due to Gina's preference and champion pool, but to see him in the bot lane is something like new for the viewers. So can you explain some of the thought process that brought you to use it, like either in combo with Senna, like is it only viable with Senna, or is it okay in any matchup? Like explain some of the thought process that went into the pick.
I mean, basically he just got buffed, and it was actually a really good buff for lane, because he got more mana regen, which he suffers a bit when he doesn't have the jungle items. So he got more mana in lane, and he's really strong early levels, so no lane can contest him. Like from 1 to 3, he just gets free lane priority and can do whatever he wants. And then after level 6, he adds a lot of global pressure on the map. So against Raccoon, we knew that their bot lane was really outmatched, I would say, in terms of skill, and they would probably not play the lane really, so they would just fall back under tower and chill. And I think they did that the 4 games that we played, and we just got our free priority on Karthus and did our drakes early on, and I had my ulti pressure whenever I hit level 6, and their solo laners heavily rely on getting solo leads or jungle leads, so it adds extra pressure in the 2v2 in mid, that they cannot really go in and 50-50 it because they have Karthus ult as well. So that was basically the thought process going into that match.
Yeah, plus I guess like you always are happy to like have a scaling comp and outscale the enemies. So like the fact that they are like forced to be back on their tower in bot lane, force them to like wait a bit, and you can scale up or like try something aggressive without getting punished too much. So
yeah, I mean, Karthus scales really well, and with Senna it's just even better scaling. Like Senna has infinite scaling, and Karthus is so strong later on, so it's just free scaling bot lane while we get priority. It seemed really OP, and I think it worked really well.
You have mixed damage too, so like it's pretty hard to counter that.
Yeah. And like about like Karthus is one of the mage picks that you have shown like throughout even last split, if I remember correctly, because you play like Cassiopeia, Syndra. So how come, like, what's your comfort also on playing mages? Is it because you have played some like time as a mid laner, or just because like the team needs some specific picks and you're the one like, okay, I'm just gonna play it? Like, how does it work?
Basically what happened was that before I got picked up on my first team, I was a mid lane main, but they already had a mid laner, so I couldn't play if I was mid lane, and they needed an AD carry. So I was just like, okay, I will just practice AD carry and try to come on the team, and then I came on the team as an AD carry. But obviously I have a lot of mid lane experience, so I just took mages with me bottling, like Six, Veigar, Karthus, Cassiopeia, Syndra, all of these picks that are really good in botlane that I play. So, and then it fits really well on the team right now, because we love to play mixed damage scaling comps, and we have 80 picks in mid, a ton of them, and it requires AP mages bots, so it's just really a good fit that I can play mages.
Also, we all know that Christo, as a his drafting styles, he loves flexing stuff, so he probably appreciates a lot the option to flex picks through your champion pool.
Yeah, I think that was the third thing he said in scrims, was like, holy, I appreciate your champ pool so much, because he has so much freedom in draft that he can do what he wants, basically.
Yeah, plus I think that thing of having a lot of picks in bot lane or in general in the team was one of the best part also in MOBA, because all of you had a flexible champion pool almost, also only Kama had only Lee Sin basically, but the rest was pretty flexible.
Or something.
Yeah. But I have a question then. Are you a better mid laner or AD carry? As AD carry, I mean actually playing ADCs.
I mean
marksman.
Yeah.
I think I'm very good on AD, but I don't think I'm really bad on mid lane. I think I played mid lane briefly in Sparks. I was stomping Aki in one game, and I was playing really well on Six in another game, I remember. So I don't think I'm really bad on mid. I think I can play it to a certain extent, but I obviously think that right now, if I were to just go in solo queue and I wanted to climb, then I would just play AD, because I don't have to focus that much on what I want to do in lane and what I want to do in the game. It's just I'm just used to doing it by now, and
you go autopilot basically.
Yeah, I just go autopilot and I can still carry games. But if I go mid, I have to try hard and sweat all I can to win a game. So
makes sense. Also, I remember that's why I wrote that. I remember watching SPK SMS while you were playing. I guess set mid against Taki, right?
Yeah.
And then there were Tabasco Endz, and all of them cheering for you. Scoops is insane. He's morphing on set. It was super funny.
Yeah, it was funny. It was this meme going on that they called me Scoops whole split, I think.
Yeah.
And basically, also on this that you said that you can autopilot some things, and if you're Karthus, you can chill in lane and get to scaling. But now you're about to face, next week, you're having this big matchup against Endz, which is in PG Nationals at least, he is very famous for being a very lane oppressive player that always forces enemies in difficult situation with his skill. So how do you think that matchup will go?
I think it depends on our strategy towards the game, but I agree that he is very upfront in lane, and he wants to fight in lane. So Karthus is not a bad pick, but I expect them to ban it, so I need to find a new pick for them. But I think their playstyle is very one-dimensional right now. I don't think they have shown much diversity, which I think you need in a best of 5. So I think that's how we will win that series, is just through different playstyles and different drafts that want different things in the game, which they don't have. So
yeah, I mean, the first stuff is you have to beat their playstyle. Then once you've done it, you're pretty much you have a free series basically.
Yeah, that's they played Kalista 4 games last week, and they always play like Assassin or Asher mid. That's basically what he plays mid. And Robin plays perma-ganging jungler, and top is weak side, and support is roaming champ. That's the only thing they do, basically, I think. So once you know how to beat them, I think you can beat them every game.
Makes sense.
So that kind of speaks towards a 3-0 confidence prediction.
Maybe 3-1, I think. 3-1 or 3-0, I would imagine.
Okay, 3-1 or 3-0. Okay, that's a bold one. Of course, like I always prefer to see like longer series, so I would love to have like playoffs where every series go to 3-2. But of course, like if a team does not have the means to react to the other team, series ends before.
Yeah.
And what if instead you drop down to the lower bracket? Is there any of the teams that are in the lower bracket that is like some kind of threatening situation? Because as you talked about like variations of play styles, I think that like OP and Raccoon maybe have a bit more like options compared to what you described about Mkers.
Yeah, I think that they have more options, but I also think that the skill gap between players are much bigger right now than it is on Mkers. Like I think it's kind of evenly matched, if not a little bit in our favor, I would say, against Mkers. But I think if we go against Outplayed or Raccoon, I think we're just better players individual. So even though they can kind of match the depth in game style and drafts, I would say that we would still come out of top because we just know how to play the game better as individuals and also as a team. So I'm not really scared if we lose to Mkers, which I don't think will happen, but I think we will still pull through and go to the final anyway.
Okay. So I suppose like your aim for the split is to like of course win it, but like was it something that you envisioned like from the beginning of the split? Like you started saying, okay, we have all the cards, we are in a position to win the split, and it's very like likely that it will happen? Or is it something that you like matured through the split and seeing like how Mkers play or how OP, which is I think another of the contestants for the title, play?
I think we knew from the start that we would be contenders for the title. As I said earlier, I think we expected to be top 2 in this split. Like our aim was to go to EU Masters this split, so I think that we always knew that we would get to the final, even though if we had like bad weeks or something like that, we could always pick up from it and learn from it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think also from the outside, everyone thought, okay, SMS Mkers is a top 2, then let's see if there is something else that can contest them or not. And like maybe the only one I've seen so far in the best ofs was actually Outplayed, but I think Outplayed has a really hard time against you as a team. Like maybe against Mkers, as you said, they can read them easily and do something to shake up things, but against you, like maybe one game, then you can like change completely strategy, and then like they're from the like they start 0-0 again basically.
Yeah, that's also what we're saying comes, like we win one game and then we just start 0-0 again because we bring something new. And I think that you are completely correct that Outplayed will have a hard time. I think they cannot really deal with the adaptations that hard. Like it's really easy for them, I think, to punish the same mistakes over and over again, which happened in Mkers. So I don't think they will have such an easy time against us.
Yeah. So like coming from like the regular split, like once I've seen the first round of playoffs, I was like pretty sure like SMS is like a different team from the last 2 weeks. So let's see if there is someone that can match that, because like Mkers was a bit sloppy the first series. So like I'm curious to see if they can do something actually to shake up things, because like right now, as you see it, like I see that SMS is a bit like is more prepared, let's say, in playoffs than Mkers.
Yeah, I think so. That we are also. I think it favors us a lot that we play best of 5s instead of best of 1s. I think that in best of 1s you can always have a bad game, but in best of 5s you never have 3 bad games. I think like if someone has a bad game, the other one will pick it up, and then he will not have a bad game the game after that, and it will be a lot easier, I think. So
yeah,
I see. And you also mentioned like EU Masters, and this is this would be your first like participation in EU Masters in like only 1 year of career. So I think that's impressive. But what do you think about the competition? Like, because to some players, EU Master is sort of some finish line. Okay, I got to EU Master, so that's okay for the split. Then I wonder if I can get there next split, but to some is also just a window to get seen better by other teams in other regions. So what's your like meaning that you associate with getting to EU Masters?
I mean, I would say that I definitely want to get out of the group stages and into the top 8 or 16 or how it works, but I think that it depends a lot of what group you will get. I think there's some really strong teams in the ERLs, like Echo Rogue is really strong, and the German scene has 5 teams that are really strong, and then there is Nordics with Fnatic Rising now looking really strong. So I think it definitely depends on how your group looks, but I really want to get out of groups before I can be happy. I think getting into groups and getting stomped is like you're not really getting anything out of EU Masters except maybe learning some stuff. Like YDN last split, I think it was not really the EU Masters run. Like you just got into EU Masters from finals, and then you won against Excel, which was really good, but then you lost. So
yeah. So like I want you to make kind of a bold statement. So I'm gonna ask you, like you of course, I guess you're screaming against like top ERL teams sometimes. So like, how likely it is for you to go out of groups?
I think it depends on our group.
Yeah, but like just thinking, okay, there are those teams that I cannot beat, or like it's really hard to beat. So like maybe there is 60% chance that I get like a fine group and I can get out of groups, or like things like that.
I think there's like maybe 55 or something like that. I would say it's not that. I think that we can get out of groups, and even though we have a hard group, I think we can also pull through some games that I wouldn't expect. But I think we have high skill ceiling, and we obviously have a month or something like that to work on it before your Masters even starts.
Yeah.
And we also need to get into your Masters first, but like...
You're pretty confident on that.
Yeah.
I have a question on this, because like in case you get second, so like if you lose in the finals, you first have to go through play-ins. So how about play-ins? Like, is there some teams that for minor region that looks like close to competition, or maybe if we get this team, it will be hard for us to get there? Because like Raccoon last split, Raccoon played really well but still got stuck in play-ins. So it's not obvious that from play-ins you can get to groups.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure how it works on the top ERLs like German, or if they get play-in spot. I don't think they do, but I know that the Nordic League gets a play-in spot, so I think there will be at least 1 or 2 really strong teams in play-ins. But I think that we can get through play-ins like with 80% chance getting into EU Masters, I would say.
It's fair. Let me check because I'm not sure like how it is since there is no Nordic anymore. It's UK and Nordic together, so
Yeah.
I have to see if like it's okay. They have 2 spots in play-ins. Yeah, no, 1 spot in play-ins and 1 in.
Yeah, I think
groups,
they're in
yeah.
the same tier as Italy,
Yeah,
technically.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
So
Which is kind of weird because the level of like, I don't know, I didn't follow all the split about NLC. Maybe bottom teams are comparable to Italy, but like the teams at the top, like Fnatic Rising and BTXL, being academies, they have a much higher ceiling. Like, I don't know if you followed the NLC split also, because like technically your region in the sense that you can always come back there without having used like difficulties for like LTR status and so on.
Yeah.
Like you count as a native there.
Yeah, I mean, I followed it the whole split, so I know what team looks strong and stuff like that. I think that, as you say, the top 2 like Fnatic Rising, BTXL right now are not really comparable to Italian scene, but I think the other teams look kind of shaky sometimes, and I've also scrimmed against them, so I know that you can compare them at least to Italian scene. But what I find weird about the NLC is that I think there are 12 teams in one league, and they only get 2 EU Master spots. That's really weird, I think.
I'm sure this will change at some point, because if they get good placements at EU Masters, then they will get like more seeds for the future splits.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And
Yeah.
so I also want to make one question, like we always make to guests that come from outside, which is, would you prefer to like keep being on a top team in Italy? For example, let's say you get top 2, either like runner-up or winner of this split. So stay in a potentially top 2 team and keep winning or contesting for the win in PG Nationals, or going to like middle of the pack team in like NLC or other like league.
Yeah,
Let's say just an NLC because it's like your region.
Yeah, I think it obviously has a lot of like how do I say it? It's viables like salary and stuff like that. But in terms of just team oriented, I would say I would look at the coach first and see if the coach has some really good experience. Like let's say if I have Christo again next split on SMS, or I have a completely new coach in Nordic League, I would always take SMS, because I just know that I can learn more here, even though the competition is not that hard compared to NLC. Then I just know that individually I can learn more here due to the coach being better. So that would be the first thing I would look at when joining a team. It's just
personal growth, basically.
Yeah, it's basically
Yeah, so like outside of like the 2 LEC academies, of course, like as far as you know, in NLC, like which is the team that fits that? I could say maybe Dusty with Vega.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested in Vega V2. I think that he has really potential to be a good coach. So if I had to join like a middle pack team in NLC, it would probably be Dusty right now, just because of Vega.
Makes sense. Also, like you can see, like it's of course nothing sure, but like you can see that Fnatic are dropping games and playing like a lot worse since Vega V2 left the team for like the toxicity reasons and stuff.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of impact actually.
Yeah,
on that team.
They also said that outside, like as far as I know, there were tweets about like how good is Vega V2 as a strategic coach and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he helps TSM or if it's just like empty rumor, but I think TSM have looked stronger like since the rumor came up that he is helping them as well. So I think he's doing really good things.
Yep, I agree. Clock, there is anything else?
No, I think like we asked everything that we had planned, but the thing in like about NLC, like I promised myself that I would watch more NLC, and eventually, like production wise, PG Nationals was so much better that I got more involved into PG instead of watching NLC. So I haven't kept up as much. But I think that placing Nordics in the same tiers as Italy is quite unfair. Also because like the team like from UK did seriously well in the last edition, so it's kind of like unwarranted to the success that they have picked up in the past. But I'm sure that like in 2 splits time, like this one, probably the next one, I think they will be moved to a higher tier and get like 2 teams in groups maybe and just 1 in play-in.
Okay, I also like UK had 2 splits, or they had 2 teams in groups, I think, and then Nordic had on its own 1 team in groups and 1 team in play-ins, and then they got mixed together, and then they only have 1 team in play-ins, 1 team in groups, and they have even more teams now in the
region.
Yeah, so it makes 0 sense, and I think they will fix that mistake soon.
Yeah, like the thing is that it's kind of hard to balance the fact that now 2 regions are 1, so like they did something like, okay, Nordic was a lower tier, UK was a higher tier, like mix it, and like it makes sense if you do the math, but doesn't make sense if you like actually think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, NLC, like in 2 splits time, it will get more forgiving seeds, like 2 in groups and 1 in play-ins, for example. Like I think Poland and Italy will probably stay at 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume so as well.
Yeah, I was saying that like last split they said Devil's One was like a good enough team for EU Masters, and they didn't get to EU Masters because like Poland had only 2 spots. So let's see if now the 3rd spot from Poland is worth it, and like is actually, if it is, it actually makes sense that they have the 3rd spot, because like they did really well at EU Masters as like a region. So let's see if it actually makes sense or not as a decision. And then like UK Nordic NLC in general, we get of course like better seeding, because like they have 2 LEC academies, so it's kind of unfair to the other teams if they have only 2 spots basically.
Yeah, it's basically just academy teams, like 90% of the time that will get that EU Master spot, I think.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of like, how can like another team match the power they have? Because like they have more appeal, most likely they have more money, so
yeah.
How can you match that?
Yeah, I don't think anyone can in Nordic, at least.
Oh, here I have a good question though, because in last split there was this like cheer chant for Polish teams that was POLSKA GUROM, and if you had to think about one for Danish teams, what would it be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess it would just be like what we do in football as well, like vi er røde, vi er hvide, something like that. You know, it means we are red, we are white, basically. Danish dynamite. That's
a full-on football chant.
Yeah, it's just a football chant, but it's like so traditional in Denmark. You always use this in football games and handball games and other sports and stuff like that. So I guess you would just use it as well in
Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. write it down so we can put it on screen, because like you said it, but I like Danish is one of the hardest ones to put from what you hear to what you read.
Yeah. I will put it down.
Okay. Like you need to wrap your place also, and this like if it goes wild, then it started from Guubi.
True. I will find the right chant so I don't mess it up.
Okay, yeah. You can't, since like you can be held accountable for it, so
Yeah, that's not good.
Like, even if the meme gets spread, but it gets spread out wrong. Bad.
Yeah. Okay, I will just type it in English.
We
I guess.
have like the yeah. Also Danish, because
Okay.
you have to make it for the fans.
Yeah.
And like as usual, like closing the episode, we always have a moment for our guests to have some shout out or message to the Italian community. So it's your moment. Tell whatever you want to the fans, either yours or of Morning Stars.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say thank you for supporting us this split, and thank you for supporting me in my Italian career or scene. And then we will see if I will stay in Italy in the next couple of splits or what will happen. But I hope you will just keep supporting me at least.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure that a lot of people started following you since you came up like in MOBA. It was like very followed team. Then also this chance of EU Masters, Morning Stars, that might get you EU Masters and rep this boot country. I think that there will be a lot of people following you. Like, as for example, I know a lot of like players. I think Wiser, maybe there's someone like that keeps up with his games when he went to NLC.
Yeah. You mean the Swedish top laner?
Yeah, that he had played 1 year in Outplayed, I think in 2018.
And he still has fans watching his NLC games.
Yes, like of course, like
Yeah.
not thousands, but still
Yeah.
need 0.
Yeah. I hope the same will happen to me. So
yeah.
So hashtag follow Guubi.
Wherever
yeah,
he goes.
Guubi.
Okay. So
So-
thank you, Guubi. Thank you, Robot Clock, for being
Yeah.
there.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Well,
Clock.
okay. See you on what is it? Is your match on Monday?
I can't remember. I think it's the
No, it's on Tuesday.
it's
Ah,
Tuesday.
Lower bracket first, then upper bracket, and then lower bracket.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
See you on Tuesday. Best of luck against Mkers, and we'll see you in the finals, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.